ducks deployed. Wiggle myself behind the camera. Good morning, friends. Happy Sunday. Apologies for last week. It was snowing, and by the time I got home from work, I was like, how about no? But here I am. Alright. So yes, good morning. For anyone new tuning in, I am SJ. I am here to sew things, particularly hexagons, because hexagons are bestigons. There will be a D&D recap at 11, so at the top of the hour, in roughly 55 minutes. Yesterday was a session. It was fine. It was a good session. Everything is fine. And you'll find out why when we get to the recap. But in the meantime, I'm going to work on my hexagon project. Also, I do have a little bit of a sore throat, so I'm not sure my voice will hold out for the entire 4 hours, but we'll see. We'll do what we can. So as usual, sit back, enjoy ducks, and I guess let's vibe. That is really all this stream is. Working on stuff and vibing. If you have your own stuff to work on, by all means. 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Excellent. Gaspakara. A Kara with coffee, even. A Kubo coffee. It's true. You did make it, so by default, it is a Kubo coffee. Oh boy. Totally awake here, folks. Starting off well. Knocked my camera accidentally earlier, so I have to figure out the positioning again. Hexes! Morning reverb. So many hexes. That's why I'm the Patch Witch. Nothing but hexes. Get Kara, I don't know what to tell you. That's actually the entire reason I chose this username. I didn't know you didn't know that. I just heard her yell from the other room that the pun was bad and I should feel bad, but literally the pun is the reason for my username. Because hexes. And also possibly invoking, or trying to invoke a little bit of the Howl's Moving Castle style maker magic, but you know. Does that make all these rubber ducks my familiars? Is that what this is? I just like the ducks. Actually, I think it would make Kirby my familiar. Kirby's been around longer after all. You might be my familiar? Maybe, yes. You do keep bringing me nice fabrics. Alright. A lot of stripies this week. That's okay. There's this week's hexagons. A lot of blues too. But again, that's okay. That's fine. A bit of a shuffling here. Especially lately. It's true that thrift shop is excellent. Kara just keeps bringing me rolls of cotton fabric. Like, usually 1 meter to 2 meters of it. And it's, lately it's been a lot of, like, the really pretty, kimono style Japanese-ish fabrics. Like, really, really pretty ones. When I get motivated to cut fabric, I'll probably cut a bunch for use in hexagons. Alright, we'll call that shuffled. here's what we have so far. Just had the stupidest idea, but I have to wait until the D&D recap and for Randus to get here. So somebody remind me after the D&D recap that I have a stupid idea to run by Randus involving the elemental braziers. Well, so good morning, kids. Sasha is currently curled up asleep downstairs on the couch, but she may decide to make an appearance. Especially if Kara decides to be mean and move her at some point. Go for a nap? I mean, it's Sunday afternoon for you. Sunday afternoon is for nap time. So please, by all means, if you need to go take a nap, go take a nap. The weather here is not fantastic, so honestly, a nap sounds fabulous. Yes, exactly. Naps are always a yes. Even if it's like a 20-minute, just lay your head down and close your eyes power nap, I always find that they help. although your mileage may vary on that type of nap. Come on, Thread. Behave. Can't guarantee that a 20-minute nap won't be a grumpy nap result for you. That's fair. Usually if I'm gonna nap after work or something, I'll lay down for like 45 minutes, and that kind of seems to be the sweet spot. If I sleep for longer than 45 minutes, then I'm just gonna kind of be groggy for the rest of the evening. Sometimes I'll put my head down for like a 20-minute power nap at lunch though, and that seems to work. I'm not sure I'd really classify that as like a nap though, because I do kind of doze off, but I'm not like laying down or anything. Cat nap, bat nap, something along those lines. Oh, come here, coffee. Kara made me coffee in the big mug, for which I am grateful. Yeah. That's the sentiment. It's snowing here again, which means my head is, like, fuzzier than normal. Which means D&D recap is gonna get interesting. Fair warning. Also, if I sneeze, my apologies. I've been kind of up and down with an almost cold all week. Which is, like, honestly almost more annoying than just having the cold and getting it over with. Good thing nothing important happened yesterday. Yeah, that's absolutely true. Nothing important whatsoever. Brandis, I've had a stupid idea. And since you're here, I will just lay it out now. Because it's not really critical. You don't have to have heard the recap for it to make sense. I'm gonna guess the answer is no, but I've had a stupid idea. So the elemental braziers, if you, like, soak a non-magical weapon or armor in them, it gets imbued with the properties of that element, right? So I'm presuming that for weapons, it would start dealing that kind of damage on attack. And for, like, armor, it would grant protection from that kind of damage, like, to a certain extent. So what if Bram takes his non-magical horse cleats that he's not yet put on, and because there's 4 of them, what if he takes each one and dips each one in a different element, and then once they're put on, I have to, like, play DDR when I kick things to make sure I'm kicking them with the right elemental foot? I'm guessing it doesn't work like that, but I'm very amused by the idea. I'm going to kick this thing with the lightning foot. No, wait, let me turn 180 degrees. I'm gonna kick this thing with the poison foot. Rainbow Star. Okay, you say that, Reaver, but I really like that. Rainbow Stomp. That's amazing. Oh no, that's good. I like that. Excellent. And Randus has no commented. Concerns intensify. Ooh, that implies this could work. Okay. Thoughts? I mean, in more seriousness, Bram is probably going to soak his shield in something. Especially since he just acquired the Shield Master feat. but now I am very intrigued by the idea of dipping the horse cleats, because they're not magical. We'll continue to ponder that. Oh, Rainbow Stomp is the concern. No, I like it. Whether Bram would like it is a totally different matter, but I like it. The fact that I like it is why it's concerning. Fair, I suppose. Because that means I might adopt it. Again, whether or not Bram would enjoy it is a totally different matter. In fact, I would go so far as to say Bram would probably not enjoy it. Come on. There we go. Oh, time for new Carby. Ooh. Cute. I like the colors on this one. Felt less like a combine and more like a full replacement. Yeah. Part of the gimmick of these things is supposedly that every single one is unique. Like the combination of the pattern and the color and the eyes and the mouth and every single one is completely unique. So I'm wondering if they're starting to run low on permutations, or at least ones of certain features. So it like randomly picks a mate, and then it's like, oh, well, every sensible combination of these has already been made, so YOLO? I can't imagine that's the case, because there must be like millions and millions and millions of these things. But it might help explain some of the more odd breeding results. I don't know how many times it's having to re-roll to get one that hasn't been created yet. Also, reminder that there will be a D&D recap starting in roughly 10-ish minutes. So if you need to get up, refill your drinks, cycle your fluids before that, by all means. As Randa said, nothing at all important happened last session. Aha, a hydrate and a stretch on me. Excellent. Everybody else should also redeem the hydrate and the stretch. Give me a second to get the needle secured here. And then I will also do the thing. Alright, there we go. Stay. Nothing important? Really? I mean, you'll find out. You'll find out in the recap. Oh, hello, ducks. Oof. Okay, yeah, stretch was needed. Thank you, Randus. Everybody else also stretch. Means you too, Kara. Do a stretch. I can too make you. I will come downstairs and tickle you. Also, you'll feel better. Do the thing. Unshrimp. Do a stretch. Ah, okay. That is nice. Thank you. And now I will hydrate. Yeah, see? The thread of tickling works. Alright, so when last we left our team, we had managed to defeat a wizard of some undead variety. We had freed a beholderkin from servitude and sent it back home to live a long and wonderful life with its beholderkin family. We had then decided to go. We lit the last brazier that we knew of. And so rather than stopping now to investigate the vault thing that the beholderkin was guarding, we decided, okay, this is probably secure. We can always come back later. But we should probably go check on that ritual thing that was happening. And, you know, actually find Gundred's brother, because he's probably not in the vault, considering there was a beholderkin here up until, 10 minutes ago. So we backtracked back toward where the energy barrier was. And it was still in place, but now that we had all of the other braziers lit, it was sort of rippling and like flickering a bit. So as we stood and watched it for a minute or two, we realized that it was flickering enough that we could probably get through one at a time, or possibly two at a time, if we were careful about it. Roughly one every 6 seconds, whatever that means. So we were like, okay, cool. So this is the back door, essentially. And we were able to put together that because of, the beholderkin and all of the undead, the Black Spider's crew probably didn't know how to disable the barrier, or didn't, the barrier predated them and they weren't using the barrier so much as just assuming it was a wall at their backs kind of thing. So we were like, okay, theoretically we can go through the barrier and potentially surprise them, especially if, they don't seem to realize that it's now flickering and vulnerable. But we realized that because we were at the point where we were discussing a long rest. Like, we've taken 3 short rests. It's been a very long dungeon. We were all fairly battered after the fight with Mormusk the Wizard. So we were kind of discussing actually taking a long rest. And we were like, okay, you know what? If the barrier is still fairly solid and we think that the enemy don't know that they can get through the barrier, we should probably go camp in front of the door so that if they try to leave, we'll know. Because if they try to leave, they'll probably leave through the door. So we head around the corner to where the locked and trapped door was and find it standing open. So that's concerning, and that is where we had left the previous session. So Kitte, in their infinite glory, tried very hard to get us to make a plan between sessions. We sort of got there. So when we started this session, we were like, okay, we don't know what's going on in there. The doors are now open. Let's send a couple stealthy people back around and through the barrier to try to get in through the back, while the non-stealthy people will stay here in the hallway, and we can hopefully surprise and or pincer anyone that's still left in there. So that's what we do. Landon, Teetgarn, and Phalar backtrack to go head for the barrier. And Glint has the idea of, okay, well, let me cast Silent Image that looks like Glint, and we'll have the Silent Image run up to the doorway, And maybe that'll spook, if there's somebody standing there with an arrow pointed at the door or a lightning bolt pointed at the door, maybe seeing the silent image will spook them into letting it loose. And both ruin the element of surprise and also burn whatever they have pointed at the door. So it was a good idea. So Glint gives the team going to the barrier a 30 count to let them get around the corner and up to the barrier, and potentially getting through the barrier. And then she casts Silent Image and has it run up to the doorway. And Bram kind of makes clip-cloppy sounds with his hooves, as though, to try to cover the fact that the silent image is silent, and also to make it seem like, he's running after Glint. Unfortunately, the silent image gets no response, which is interesting. So, after a couple seconds, with the silent image getting no response, Lash starts creeping forward to try to get an actual look through the doorway, to try to see what he can see. And what he sees is a fairly large room, fairly large by the standards of this dungeon, with some columns that are holding up the ceiling. Off to one side of the room, there's a table with like a bunch of, debris and such scattered, accoutrements, bottles and papers and things scattered across it. There's 2 cages that are hanging from the ceiling. Yeah, exactly. There is always someone with a lightning bolt pointed at the door when the party doesn't make themselves known to the enemies. Look, we're learning, okay? We only had to get shot with lightning like 3 times before we learned. It's a thing, okay? We've learned we don't like lightning bolts. There's a couple cages, like iron bar cages that are hanging from the ceiling. One of them has what looks like a weirdly dressed goblin in it. And the other one has a red-headed dwarf in it that's kind of like twitching every now and then, which is a good sign. Because Randus is like, and that dwarf looks a whole lot like Gundred. And then there was a pause, and Kite was like, Lash doesn't know what Gundred looked like, because Gundred is a slime now. And Randus is like, right, yes, good point. So presumably this caged dwarf is Gundred's brother, we hope. And the fact that he's twitching means he's probably still alive, which is also a good sign, we hope. At the back of the room, there's like a very large statue of a dwarf, and there's like a giant emeralds that have been like socketed into the eyes of the statue, except those giant emeralds are like melting and like starting to ooze down over the cheeks of the statue in like, fairly disturbing manner. There is a corpse ? There's like, it's not so much a corpse as it is like a pile of meat and cloth, kind of, off to the other side of the room. Hard to tell what it was until we can get a closer look at it. There's also a pair of bugbear corpses that are very dead. Well, again, presumably very dead. That are closer to the statue. And there's a drow. There's a lady drow just kind of standing in the room. It looks like she was kind of cleaning up whatever had been going on. Oh yes, the bugbears are in pools of blood. Good point, Randus, thank you. Bugbear corpses in pools of blood. Almost maybe kind of like they had been sacrificed a little bit. Perhaps. So Lash kind of stops in the doorway to take all this in and says to, kind of over his shoulder to where Gundren and Glint and Bram are behind him. Two prisoners, what was it exactly that he said? 2 prisoners, 2 dead, or something along those lines. 2 prisoners, 2 corpses, something along those lines. And as he says that, the drow turns around and kind of gives a really creepy smile and just kind of goes, "Oh, you're too late. He's already ascended." Which, I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure that's not concerning at all. And also Randus is very candid at this point about the fact that, yes, we are too late, even above table. Whatever ritual was going on here has been fully completed. 3 short rests was too many to take. And we are too late. So, that's not great. Oh, right, yes, that's true. Lash didn't actually notice the drow until she talked, which is why he said, two prisoners, 2 dead. And then the drow turned around and spoke to him, and Lash was kind of like, uh-oh. Sorry. And when Lash said 2 prisoners, 2 dead, he was just loud enough that on the other side of the room, coming in from the hallway that leads down to the barrier, Phalar and Landon and Teetgarn were able to hear him, and, presumed no hostiles, because Lash hadn't noticed the drow. So Teetgarn, pauses to kind of guard the doorway. In the hallway coming up from the barrier, there is another doorway that leads off to a room that's closed. But we kind of leave that for the moment, or, Teetgarn and Landon and Phalar leave that for the moment and kind of head in to hopefully group up with the rest of us. Teetgarn pauses to guard the doorway. But when the drow says something, and says it so creepily, Lash is kind of like, uh-oh, probably not good. And I believe, did the drow actually attack Lash? I'm trying to remember. Beginning of combat was mildly fuzzy yesterday. But in any case, Lash charges into the room, manages to call back, and one hostile, and casts Might of the Giant, I believe is what it's called, which embiggens himself. So we get embiggened Lash. So Lash is now even bigger and even stronger. And the drow on her turn pulls this crystal out of her pocket. A crystal that looks like it has maybe a pocket of liquid in the middle, and tosses it to the ground while murmuring a spell. And manages to summoning a hottie, summons a shadow spawn, and the token that Randus grabbed to represent the shadow spawn happened to be a very cute goth girl, so we just started calling her the hottie. the very hot shadow spawn. Reminder, we knew she had this spell because we found her spell book. So this drow Lash didn't recognize her, but once we get into the room, the rest of us do. This is the same drow that had been pretending to be a noble at Falcon's Lodge. And the last time we saw her, she was being asked some questions by some orcs. But, like the other holders of class weapons, she had then disappeared upon her death. And when we searched her room, we found her spell book that had this spell in it, and also we found her previous crystal, which I believe is in Glint's possession, because Glint thought it was cool looking. But yeah, so she summons a shadow spawn, and so then Bram comes charging into the room. So Phalar comes in first, and Phalar gets caught sort of between the hottie and the drow. Bram comes charging into the room, and seeing Embiggened Lash and the drow and the shadow spawn all sort of bunched up in the southeast corner of the room, he comes running in and then kind of wheels around to face them. But we had started initiative kind of halfway through a round. So Bram had taken the dash action to actually get into the room. So he wasn't able to also attack. So he gets up to just behind the shadow spawn and then ends his turn. At which point, because he had turned around to face the hostiles, he completely failed to notice that the dwarf in the cage behind him just kind of disappears and then reappears directly behind Bram, and also in their natural form, which is that of a gray-skinned doppelganger, which we have also seen before. And because Bram is, completely facing the wrong direction, the doppelganger is able to teleport over and just stab Bram in the back, literally. Does some very nasty crit damage. But Bram manages to... He's still standing. He's hurting, but he's still standing. And he manages to kind of yelp like, several hostiles! Several hostiles! Because, of course, Lash had only yelled for one. But again, that was all the information Lash had at the time. So Bram is just correcting it for everybody else. Because Gundred and Glint are still behind him, and Landon and Garn are still outside the room. So Bram is just making sure they're aware. Several hostiles. This doppelganger, for anyone that may not remember, we last saw in the Red Band's hideout because they were pretending to be the woodcutter Thal. We had also seen them, I believe this is also the doppelganger we had encountered. Oh no, you're right. Yes, thank you, Randus. You're right. No, I'm getting this backwards. The woodcutter Thal will come up. That's why I thought about it. Put a pin in that. That's later. We do run into him again. Sort of. No, this doppelganger... You're right, Randus. Thank you. This doppelganger was at the Goblin Castle where Gundred had died. They had been in the form of... crap, I can't remember their original form. But then they took the form of Glint. And did some fun, like, teleport stabby shenanigans. And were able to get away. And we let them get away because we were too focused on Gundred and the Bugbear King. And everything else that was going on. Actually, no, he was in the form of the drow, wasn't he? The doppelganger showed up as this female drow, except it wasn't actually her. And then she turned into Glint and then was able to Misty Step and run away. And we let them go. Oh, of a different female drow. Okay, that's good to know. Thank you. Because my brain had kind of conflated the two. Okay, so they were in the form of a different female drow that was sort of working with the Bugbear King. And then they turned into Glint, which made us all very suspicious. And then they ran away. Yes, thank you. What I'm hearing is Bram thinks Lash is bad at threat assessment. Yeah, maybe a little bit. Except, I mean, as soon as Bram saw that it was a doppelganger, he would have been like, oh, okay, sure. Assuming exactly what happened, that the doppelganger was hiding. That's why I showed you both back to back. Okay, thank you. Yeah. So the doppelganger manages to stab Bram in the back. Bram is down to single digit HP, but still standing. He's fine. Glint uses her refreshing step to pop in and give Bram some temp HP to at least, make him possibly not quite so squishy. Gives him a few temp HP. And then, backs away to try to get out of stabbing range. T-Garn comes running in and is able to smack a hand onto Bram's side and use Lay on Hands. Or I guess in T-Garn's case it would be Lay on Claw. Manages to use Lay on Claw to restore a good number of hit points. Bring Bram back up into at least the couple dozen hit points range, so he's maybe not going to go down to a single hit. Which is very much appreciated. Phalar is able to use Green Flame Blade on the Shadow Spawn. So what that is he stabs it with his rapier, and then also sets it on fire. And when that happens, the fire can also jump if there's any other hostiles that are in melee range. So right nearby. So he stabs the Shadow Spawn and sets it on fire. And then the fire is able to jump over to the female drow. And when it does, Onyx. So the female drow's name is Onyx. When the flame jumps over to Onyx, she manages to lose concentration on the spell. And so the Shadow Spawn immediately dissipates, which is fantastic. Love that for us. We still have the doppelganger to deal with, and it uses its own teleportation Misty Step thing to jump to avoid an opportunity attack from Bram, which definitely would have been a thing, but manages to jump over next to Phalar to try to get some stabbings in there. Gundred pokes his head in, and Gundred very wisely shots web into that corner, and sorry, back up a second. I'm sorry this is so disjointed today. I am not entirely awake. When the doppelganger uses its teleport and teleports over beside Phalar, it was able to, when part of its feature is when it teleports, it arrives invisible. So it shows up next to Phalar invisible and is able to stab him for crit, which is not great. This was after. Okay. The drow lady, Onyx, had started to back away a little bit. And, Lash is able to get an opportunity attack on her as she backs away. She kind of coughs up a little bit of blood. No big deal. She's still being, super creepy. And saying things like, "You're too late, but I'm going to sacrifice you anyway." Just wonderful, wonderful, very, very reassuring stuff. She reaches into her back pocket to pull out what looks like a little bit of ash. And as she's kind of rubbing it between her fingers and starting to murmur a spell, Phalar sees this and is like, okay, no, that's probably not good. Do not want whatever that spell is to happen. So he casts Counterspell, and she fails her save. So, avoided that. Excuse me. Avoided that problem, which, by the way, that problem would have been Wall of Fire, which is not fantastic. So love that for us. Love that Counterspell. Thank you, Phalar. Also, this is all of this week's hexagons. Well done, us. Yes, so manages to counterspell the Wall of Fire. The doppelganger does a teleport to try to stab Phalar, probably because of the counterspell, in all honesty. And then, where was I going with that? Brain. Disagree, it would have been very fantastic. Nah. That is indeed why. Yeah, that makes sense. You counterspell? You counterspell like the monster? Stabbings. Stabbings for Phalar. My brain has suddenly left me. Oh, Gundred, yes. So Gundred pokes his head in, and throws some web over in that corner. And miraculously, Phalar manages to make the save and avoid being caught up in the web. And both the Drow and the Doppelganger fail their save and get caught up in web, which is wonderful. We love that for us. Glint, having seen the Drow teleport, arrive invisible, and do a stabbing on Phalar, decides, no, we don't like that. Invisibility is not good. We should stop you from doing that. And so she casts Fairy Fire in the same corner, catching the same people. Sorry, Phalar. But again, Phalar manages to make this save. I don't remember if Onyx makes this save or not. I think she does. But most importantly, the Doppelganger fails. So the Doppelganger is now glowing in this lovely sort of magenta-y purple light. And even if they manage to do their teleport invisible trick again, we'll be able to see the Fairy Fire. So hooray for that. Oh no, just Phalar. So Onyx also failed. Although it's less important for Onyx, although it does give us advantage on our attacks against her, which is lovely. I'm trying to remember who actually... And we know enough not to set the web on fire. Because we have learned that as well. Through trial and error and charring. Do not set the web on fire. Landon has summoned already his weapon, his sacred weapon, his bonking book, and has been bonking things. Teak Garn, I believe, is the one who manages to run in and do some stabbings on Onyx, and get the kill on her. I was a little bit out of it yesterday. I'm trying to remember who actually got the kills. I should have been taking notes and I did not. But in any case, both Onyx and the Doppelganger fall within about a round of each other, fairly back to back. And we all kind of pause and look around, but there doesn't seem to be anything else immediately happening. Both of them are kind of like stuck upright in the web, which is slightly creepy, but fine. Teeth, Garn, and Lash. Oh yeah, that sounds right. But yeah, we managed to take out both the doppelganger and the Lady Drow. However, we are too late to stop whatever it was that just happened. So now we kind of have to wander around and investigate the room and try to figure out, okay, what the hell happened here. So, however, first order of business is, so the dwarf that Lash had initially seen in the cage turned out to actually be the doppelganger. So, where actually is Gundred's brother? So Landon goes to investigate sort of the door that was in the hallway, because presumably that will lead back to, hopefully, wherever they're keeping his brother. However, it's locked, but it looks like the lock on it takes like a big iron key, the kind of which we might have already seen, and it turns out that we have. Phalar has it. I'll go through each of these, I guess. They were all kind of happening simultaneous. There was multiple things happening simultaneously as the party kind of fanned out. But I'll kind of go through each one in its entirety. So, Landon calls Phalar over, and Phalar brings the key, and they manage to unlock the door. And when they get in, there is a bed, and there is a... well, more importantly, there is a dwarf laying on the ground, a red-headed dwarf, and he is bound, like hand and foot. Glint tries to use a cure wounds on him, but it doesn't have any effect. Like, it brings him back up to full HP, but he doesn't wake up, because there is magical sleep involved. But they are able to wake him up. And as a reminder, Gundred was a dwarf. Gundred is no longer a dwarf. Gundred is now a slime man, because we kind of accidentally got him killed, and then asked a friend of ours in Phandalin if she could possibly please reincarnate this dwarf that we got killed. So due to the way reincarnation works, he got reincarnated as a slime man. So when his brother wakes up, his brother looks around and sees a slime man, a human, a elf, and a tabaxi, none of whom he recognizes. Understandably freaks out a little bit, as Gundred kind of gloops into a, like, semblance of his old self. Like, the slime that is Gundred kind of reforms itself into a dwarven-looking thing, that actually does kind of look fairly similar to what he used to look like. His brother is a mix of disbelieving and kind of unimpressed, and understandably needs a few minutes to catch his breath. Meanwhile, before he had gone to give the key to Landon, Phalar had first gone over to investigate this giant statue thing with, the melting gemstone eyes. He wasn't able to discern too much from it. Over on the table that's off to the side, he finds a couple vials of, like, some kind of a glass. They're empty. They're like glass vials that probably contained some kind of a liquid or something that have like a strange symbol on them. Meanwhile, Teeth Garn had immediately made a beeline over for that goblin that's in one of those hanging cages. Unfortunately, Goblin is deceased. And seeing Teetgarn make a straight beeline over toward the goblin, Bram and Glint had kind of wandered after him, just kind of like, okay, yeah, that goblin looks a little weird. Like, A, it's dressed really weird. B, it's like got bits that are not normal goblin bits. How to say this? It looks a titch like it's been kind of experimented on, just a little bit. And Teetgarn, upon seeing that this goblin is dead, just kind of sighs and rips the cage open and starts frisking the goblin, like just, you know, ruffling through its clothes looking for something clearly, and comes up with a like a stone. It's like a sandstone item with like white granite parts to it, where it's like it's got glowy bits, yeah. But like, so it's a piece of sandstone that's got like white granite like embedded into it to form a particular pattern. And the pattern looks an awful lot like the fist with the sunburst behind it that's on Teetgarn's armor and clothing. Which, obviously, above table, this is the Boros symbol. Because, again, reminder, Teetgarn is from Ravnica. He fell through an omen path. So Teetgarn finds this, and as soon as he finds this stone, his eyes, like, light up. So Glint's kind of like, hey, what's that? And Teetgarn's like, well, you know, this does not belong to this goblin. You know, this belongs to my guild. And Glint's like, huh, interesting, what's it do? And Teetgarn doesn't answer. But Teetgarn seems very pleased to have found this. Again, above table, this is one of Kranko's goblins that Teetgarn was chasing when he arrived. Presumably because the goblin had stolen whatever this is from the Boros. So Teetgarn also goes over to investigate what's on this table. And when he sees the glass vials with the weird symbols on them, he kind of sighs heavily, because it's the symbol of Simic. Turns out this goblin, it looks like, has been experimented on a few times by the Simic, and whatever was in these vials, the goblin had, and then provided to the Black Spider and his crew. Which is, so, and Teetgarn even says, Teetgarn pockets these vials that have the Simic symbology on them, and Teetgarn even says, like, oh, this is not good. And Phalar was like, you know, what do you mean it's not good? And Teetgarn kind of gestures at the symbol and goes, you know, this guild is known for its genetic splicing. And Lash and Bram and I believe Phalar, although Phalar might have already left with the key at this point. Everyone in earshot completely whiffs the intelligence roll to try to figure out what genetic splicing means. I don't know what Lash assumes. Bram assumes it's probably some sort of bad religious mojo. Then it comes time to examine this pile of corpse bits. So the bugbears are definitely dead. Phalar even like walks over and stabs them each. Just to make sure that they're really for real dead, because we have bad luck with undead in this thing in particular. Good morning, Kuma. Thank you. Yes, I will indeed do board games post D&D recap. We're almost done. So Phalar had stabbed the bugbears to make sure that they're really definitely for sure dead. But there's still this pile of, like, corpse bits that's, like, definitely not a... So the bugbears are full corpses. Like, they've clearly been sacrificed and killed, but they're still, like, intact. However, this pile is, like, some humanoid remains, some, like, weird sort of chitinous remains. Once we start sorting through the pile, Lash is actually able to identify that the more crab-like bits are in fact the remains of a giant scorpion, but not like all of a giant scorpion. It's, again, it's like a leg here, maybe a section of abdomen. The stinger is missing. And again, Lash knows that these particular scorpions have like a very powerful acidic venom that, you know, could have maybe been used to melt gemstones in some kind of a ritual. But the stinger itself is actually not here. The humanoid remains look to be part of the remains of like a male half-drow. The question was asked, is he half-drow as in half-blooded, or is he half-drow as in there's only half a corpse here? And the answer was yes. So again, there seem to be a lot of bits of the corpse missing, and we're able to kind of piece together that with the help of whatever Simic concoction was in those vials the goblin had, they seem to have created a Drider, or at least a Drider-like creature where the spider half is instead scorpion. So that's really not good. We're gonna have to deal with that eventually. But he's not here now. Wherever he went, it's not here. So we don't have to deal with him immediately. It's not like he's got some kind of a perfected Chardalyn weapon or anything with him. Definitely not. Yeah, little bit of Simic, little bit of magic. Definitely good things all around. And so the Lady Drow had repeatedly referred to presumably the Drider creature as her ascended lord. And all of us know just enough about Drow society to kind of wonder, like, okay, wait a minute. Drow are typically very matriarchal, and typically don't like half-bloods. So why would this full-blooded Lady Drow be serving a half-blood male Drow? And we're kind of able to piece together, based on the other holders of glass weapons that we found, that whoever this half-drow is, he's probably been collecting outcasts like himself. So this Lady Onyx probably was something or other, some kind of an outcast, and this guy took her in and made her feel loyal. Well, you know, whatever the situation is, he was probably collecting outcasts like himself, so whatever he had done to win her loyalty. Yeah, so that's interesting. Chardalyn is a dragon problem. Okay, fair. That makes me feel slightly better. He's got some kind of a perfected glass weapon, but at least it's not Chardalyn. Thank you for the clarification. Again, my brain had kind of smushed the two threats together. So yeah, that's fun. At that point, we kind of determined that we were going to take a long rest here. Because we still have, we seem to have, for the most part, cleared this cave system of hostiles. We still want to circle back and check out whatever is in that vault. We still want to kind of poke at the elemental braziers, especially since Landon and Phalar found notations on how they can be used to enchant weapons and armor. And we still need to have a chance to actually talk to Gundred's brother. He is currently quietly hyperventilating and catching his breath. But theoretically, once he kind of calms down a little bit, we'll be able to talk to him and get perhaps some more information. But that'll all be next session. So we determined that we were going to take a long rest, and with that, we all leveled up to level 8. So we're now a level 8 adventuring crew. Also, Randus, I would argue that you should level Gundred up to level 4. He's earned it. He's been with us this whole time. He also deserves a level up. But yeah, so we are now a level 8 adventuring party. I think everybody took a level in their main class except Glint. Glint actually took another level in Cleric, which is fun. Bram, I know, gets access to a feat, and so I have taken the feat of Shieldmaster for him. Seems appropriate. And it means that I'll get to be able to bash people prone once a turn, which is fun. You know what, Kits? Randus actually made that exact same joke. But yes, Bram does already have 4 feats. Like, not that I super think we're gonna keeping Gundred with us in the party, but like, come on, he's deserved a level or 2 after all this shit he's put up with from us. You know, just in case he ever does decide to start hanging out with us again. But yeah, so that was our session. Like I said, nothing important happened. Nothing at all. The ritual was already done. So the important thing happened like 3 sessions ago and we didn't even know. Love that for us. Zero chances of that. I mean, you know what? That's fair. Fair enough, Gundred. At least he'll have cool stories to tell for the rest of his slime life. But also, yeah, totally fair, Gundred. We should give that slime a fruit basket. Do slimes eat fruit? Yeah. Gundred, why are you a slime? Well, these crazy adventurers got me killed. But then I guess they did get me back alive again. But now I'm like this. Just gonna finish out this thread and then I will take a break, and then when I come back from break we will do board games. As requested by the Kuma. Yeah. Oh, that's a much more charitable interpretation. Thank you, Gundred. I am really glad we were able to save at least one of his brothers. He's a bard now, gotta spin the tale of his epic adventures. That's fair. Valid point. Wasn't he always a bard? Ah, as a dwarf he had no class. Interesting. That seems awful mean of you to say, Randus. So wait, you're not supposed to conscript Gundred into your adventuring party? Well, thank you for the help, Gundred. It's originally designed as an escort quest? Oh, fair enough. We just, you know, missed that memo. Including all the negatives that go with that, like walking into everything. Oof. Yeah, this Gundred seemed much more sensible about staying the fuck at the back, which I really appreciate. Alright, I'm gonna take a quick break, and then when we come back, I will go through my boards. Everybody get up, stretch, use the bathroom if you need to, grab refills on your drinks, And I'll be back with with some boards in just a few minutes. All right, I have returned. I want. Oh, it helps if I actually open Board Game Arena. There it is. All right, excellent. Let's see what we've got here. Okay. All right, let's start here. Yeah. With the white. All right. Okay. Oh, yes, let's do that. Interesting. It worked out for me. I'll take it. And that. Let's play the yellow. Okay, yes. Move 3 cells. Down. Pass. Nope, no discards. Cartographers. All right, we're in fall. Oof. All right. Let's go with this. Like that. I think that's probably my best bet. Okay. Yep, Iris. Sure. Ooh. Let's play a 3. This is going to be a good hand. Excellent. I love when the flop plays exactly into what I have. Ah, this is also going to be a good hand. Hooray. Let's do that. Okay, 12-point hand for me. Not bad. 14-point hand for Kite. Also not bad. 2-point crib. It's fine. 45 to 46. Okay, 2 cards to my crib. It's fairly easy. All right, off we go. NFV. Flip that. Okay. Probably this one. And that one. Ooh. Ooh. Why? Pass. Oh, excellent. I'll take that. Do I just call it there? Maybe. Next. Not really any use in picking up the queen yet. Let's draw a card. Okay. Sure. Sure. If somebody has the Queen of Diamonds, go at it. Okay. Can I... Yes, let's just pick up the deer. Especially considering I have the boar butterfly in my hand. Okay. So there's an ace, another queen. King. I mean, there's some good stuff in here. Just not quite all the pieces needed yet. Ooh, okay. Interesting. They're down to one card in hand. Let's get rid of this. Next. Okay, a 5 and a 1. I guess let's do that. That. I will take this one, thank you. Don't need a 2, so we'll draw. Sure, I'll take that. Actually put that there. Oh, finally. All right, let's play that. So that's at least 1 point. There. And then, how did we complete the terraforming so fast? It feels like this game went really fast. Do that, because that at least adds another to ecological zone. What am I sitting at for that? 4? All right. Planet Unknown. I like this one a lot. This is fun. Okay. Which tiles do I want? Let's see. Probably actually that. Dang it. Let me move it so I can see my board. Probably that. I want that. Rotate, flip. There. It's my rover. Yes, that's satisfying as hell. And then, let's advance. You know what? Yes. All right. Oh, this is apparently last round of the game. Interesting. Cool. Yeah, I like this one a lot. This is a fun one. Ooh, okay. Boat. Play boats. Shell, I guess? Actually. Well, okay. Yeah, crab. Put that there. Not letting me play crab. Okay. Oh, right, because that's one per crab. That's not actually a crab. Duh. Alright, that's fine. Next. Okay. Draw cards. Ooh. Alright. Yes, I think I will. Play those wilds. And discard the king. Done. Alright. The dice are bullying me again. Don't need any more full houses, so let's re-roll all of those. Nope. Try that again. Better. Better. Five. How much heat do I have? I have one heat. Ooh. I can't, unfortunately. Okay. Prediction time. I am first player. Probably 2, possibly 3. Oh wow, Warudo and I are actually tied. You know what, let's go 3. Alright. Move 10 cell. Have a heat? I do have a heat. Flip something other than a 1? Alright, I'll take that. Okay. This is less good. Let's do that. That. Sure. Okay. Guess I'll play that. Heart. Play that. Oof. Alright. Yeah, let's end it here. Neat. I think this is probably the best I've done on one of these so far. We'll see if that actually plays out in scoring. Right, this mess. Yep. All right, there we go. All down except for Hanabi. Excellent. Thank you, friends. I want that. Ooh, where did the ducks go? Oh, there we go. All right. Turn to my corner here. That duck done ate a disco ball, light and all. It sure did. That is sure how some of these ducks work. Also, I checked. Sasha is still asleep down on the couch. No signs of movement. Okay. I think what I want to do is work some more on my Minecraft scarf, because I haven't been working on it as much as I should lately. So, let me situate the yarn here. Yep. Okay, there we go. So we are indeed on to proper stone now. This was a tiny bit of a cave in the corner. This is andesite. And then of course regular stone and diorite. So where am I? Let me pull up my actual pattern here. That would be helpful. I'm very, very pleased with how this is turning out so far. I think it looks cool as heck. Open. Move that over here so I can still see chat. Over here. Nope, not that. Come on, mouse. There we go. And there. Eat diorite. Complete on my pattern. There we go. All right. And now, like a typewriter, I return. Are we ready? Type? No, it's like a typewriter. Because I type along the front and do my pattern, and then I have to go ka-ching and zip it back to the beginning of the row again. That's what these single crochet are. It's the basing to get me back to the beginning of the row. I miss using an actual typewriter. So fun fact, when I was a kid, and I mean like literally a kid, like 8 to 10 years old, my parents had a literal working typewriter. And I don't know why they ever let me use it. But I used to be allowed to use it. And some of my very first short stories were typed up on that old typewriter. I found it absolutely fascinating. I wonder if they still have it. And if it still works, I should ask them. I haven't thought about that in years. But yeah, I distinctly remember in grade 2, I adored my grade 2 teacher. She was incredible. And for Christmas, I think, I wrote a short story for her as a gift and typed it up on the typewriter and gave it to her. And this would have been mid-90s. I think we did have a computer at this point, but like there was just something super magical about the typewriter. also 8 diorite. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes. I definitely was always the weird kid. Absolutely. I absolutely was. Oh, I hear Sasha crunching kibble outside. Sasha, are you gonna come say hi today? You can push the door open. Sometimes she doesn't realize she can do that. Sasha, come here, baby. Sasha. Is she running away? Beepy. Meh.
Her adoring fans wait.
Randus wants to say hello. Yes, I'm up here. Yes, hello. Thank you.
You're welcome. All of warm, soft, mad.
Hmm? No, stay here. Stay here, baby. Why don't you come say hi anymore? Why don't you come say hi anymore? No, stay here. She's like, but I didn't choose this. Oh, settle down. You like my lap. No, stay here. No, stay here. Bye. There she goes. She does this though. She'll like rotate through the places where she wants to lay. In another month or so, she'll decide that she wants baby time all the time again. now she just wants to curl up on the couch and not be bothered. Excellent. She doesn't love you anymore. I don't know that she ever loved us at all, Randus. This blanket, yes. I mean, she was curled up right next to me all during D&D yesterday. So clearly she still loves you. Maybe she's just a little camera shy right now. Last one of this row. I remembered to grab the yarn needed. Anyone want to take a guess? one row up. Aren't we guessing? What ore this last block might be. It's hard, I know. If you're not super familiar with the Minecraft blocks, you might not realize what it is. Oh, good lord. That there. Catch this. Is it amber? No. Diorite? No. So this white is the diorite. It's gonna be the easiest way. Sure. Good lord. Yellow concrete. Ding, ding, ding. I don't know how I found yellow concrete in like the middle of a chunk, but you know, sometimes strange things happen in World Gen. That's why I picked such a bright yarn. Why did I find yellow concrete in a chunk? Maybe somebody sabotaged the chunk in my single player world. Oh, right. Need to remember to mark my pattern, otherwise I'm gonna get lost. There we go. Ironically, I do actually have some dirt coming up in a couple layers. That. Pick up the diorite. Kite and Sasha teamed up to hack the world and then Kit sabotaged my chunk? I don't know. That would be pretty funny. To briefly get up and go find yarn, because there is also iron coming up in another 2 rows, and I know for a fact my iron yarn is downstairs. So unless I can manage to coax Kara to bring it to me, but it sounds like she's currently up doing the dishes, so we'll see. Might have to briefly run and grab it myself. I suppose I could try to coax Sasha to come bring it to me. Don't know how well that would work though. She is colorblind, sort of. Kuma has resubscribed for the 18th month. Hey, on streaming day for once. Excellent. Thank you so much, Kuma. I really appreciate that. There are so many places you could spend your Prime sub, but you choose to spend it with me, and I very much appreciate that. Oh, good lord. Yarn, come on. The downside of this yarn method is that it just ends up... Alright, 1 second here. Let me do some untangling. You go underneath there. Alright, so there's that separated. And then, because I'm right-handed and I'm always flipping my yarn to the right, they end up twisted together, which is fine, because I could just untwist them. I just need to remember to do it every couple rows, or I end up with a mess. There we go. That is straightened. Did we all see the new Storm card? I don't think I have. Is it a new Final Fantasy spoiler, or is it something else? Let's see. Ooh. Oh, from Tarkir. Oh, right, because that is, obviously, that's the next one coming. Duh. Ooh. That art is awesome. 4 red, creature type dragon, flying. Other dragons you control get +1/+1 and storm. Or, not, other dragons you control get +1/+1, period. And then this dragon has storm. Dang. Other dragons you control get +1/+1. And then the copies would also have, the copies from Storm would also have that ability, right? That's how Storm works? Good lord. But also, yeah, that art is awesome. Oh, that's a messed up card. No wonder it's mythic. I might have to revamp my dragon stack. Because the one I have is already kind of... I was working with what I had at the time, so it's not really functional. This will help. Wee woo, wee woo. Apologies for the wee woos. Yeah, so have 9 mana, cast a 1 mana something, cast a 2 mana something, cast this for 6, and then all dragons get +3/+3. Damn. Oh, I didn't actually look. What's the power and toughness on this? Okay, so it's a 4/4. So, it's not like you could immediately lightning bolt the copies or anything to try to get it under control. Damn. Don't they know the bugbear on the motorcycle is just too fast? Those were fire engine wee-woos. police car Weewoos are slightly different. Ambulance Weewoos are also slightly different. So generally you can identify which vehicle it is by the sound, at least around here. Back to stone. Dragonstorm is not a special guest card in Tarkir Dragonstorm, I'll be disappointed. Yeah. It does kind of seem to be that they're flagging that, huh? The fact that it's the name of the set kind of implies. Oh, the set name is based off of something else in Tarkir lore altogether. Well, yeah. But the fact that there is a card called that. It would be very strange if it was not in the set. Oh, Dragonstorm is from a Dominaria set. Oh, okay. See, that I wasn't aware of. Still, I feel like they would have chosen the set name to be something else. Just hoping Atarka is back? Yeah, fair. Scourge, the OG dragon set with like basically no dragons. Oh. sure all the elder dragons are dead. Oh dear. That seems less than ideal. Alright, mark this row as done. Yeah, I'm gonna need my iron. Oh well. That yarn there. There we go. Sasha, bring me my yarn. Oh no, is the Animal Crossing music making you sleepy? I can't actually hear what's being played. I just have it set to run, so if I need to change it, you'll have to let me know. I think it's the bedtime song. Assuming it's a 1 a.m. to 5. I think it is the 5 a.m. theme. It is a Sleepy Hours Animal Crossing song. I mean, we are the Totally Awake Club, so it seems to fit. Also, this is very sleepy weather outside, at least here, so... No. There we go. I'm back to only wrangling 2 yarns now, for the moment. Carry this forward a little bit further. Actually, no, I do want it here. Yeah, one more. Don't mind me casually doing math. It's fine. Yep, there. Okay. So drop that. Diorite. I think this Animal Crossing playlist also has some of the like rainy time music in it, which is even more mellow and sleepy. I do need my iron yarn. And I should grab dirt and coal while I'm up. Alright. Talk amongst yourselves. I'll be back in like 30 seconds. Alright. I've acquired iron. And dirt. Cool. Alright, cool. Thought I had those. I went with kind of a brownish for the iron instead of silver because it is an iron ore when it's still in the ground, and the iron ore is kind of brownish. So that was my thought anyway. No, come back. And it doesn't show up super well on camera, but it is kind of like a variegated brown, like there is little bits of gray and stuff in it. So I think it works okay. Alright, back to stone for the rest of the row. Yes. done. And just to make sure, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Hooray! Haven't completely screwed up so far. Right? I'm super, super, super pleased with how this is turning out. This is looking very cool. I might end stream slightly early. Kara is actively making lunch, and I am very hungry. I went downstairs to grab my yarn and got a whiff of what she's making, and it smells so good. So I might call stream as soon as it's ready so that I can eat lunch. Alright, so 6 die, right? Let's untangle these before I... There we go. have not eaten yet. That's why I might end stream early, so that I can go eat. Everybody else should also eat. Hey, yeah, I've been lax today. Everybody go eat. Also take meds if you need them. I'm so sleepy I've forgotten all my reminders. I'm actually super pleased with how much this stitch looks like blocks too. It's like it was made for exactly this purpose. The spaghetti is ready. Excellent. I'll finish this row. I'll give it a couple minutes to cool down, but then yeah, I'm gonna go eat. Spaghetti. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then 6 stone, 2 dirt, and then another 2 stone. I mean, we keep saying, Randus, just come visit. And Kara would be happy to cook for you. All right. I think I will call it there because I would like to go eat lunch while it is still fairly hot. Everybody else also go eat if you need to. Drink water, take meds, all the fun stuff that you need to do to keep yourself up. Yeah. I should be back next week. I don't know any reason why I wouldn't be. But yeah, everybody stay safe, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Yeah. Thank you very much to all of my followers, all of my subscribers. I really, really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yeah, everyone take care, and I will see you in the future.